Hey guys, this is Basil and Brendan from Project Prospect, and today we're here to give you an NFL Mock Draft 2.0 with the draft just 2 weeks away. So we'll jump right into it. Brendan, you want to start with number 1?
All right, with the first pick, we have the Browns taking Sam Darnold, quarterback out of USC. The Browns made a trade for Tyrod Taylor earlier in the offseason, but we don't think that's going to change their strategy going into the draft. They still need a quarterback of the future, and Sam Darnold is that guy.
Okay, so moving on to number 2, we had a draft trade where we gave the Bills the number 2 pick and the Giants the number 12, 22, and a first rounder next year. And with that number 2 pick, we think the Bills are going to take Josh Allen. Right now, they signed A.J. McCarron for really cheap after nobody took him, and we think that he could be the perfect bridge quarterback for Josh Allen to learn for a year, then eventually take over. With his skills, we think he could be potentially a franchise quarterback.
Right, and with the third pick, we have the Jets taking Josh Rosen. They traded up earlier this offseason because they really need a franchise quarterback. They've been searching for one forever, and Rosen is probably the safest quarterback in this draft. He'll be their franchise quarterback for years to come.
Okay, and so moving on to number 4, we have another draft trade expected. We thought the Browns could potentially accumulate even more picks, and we gave the Dolphins their pick. We gave the Dolphins number 4 and the Browns the number 11 pick and their second and third rounders this year. And with the number 4 pick, we had the Dolphins taking Baker Mayfield, quarterback out of Oklahoma. We don't think that Ryan Tannehill is going to be the long-term option. He just came off a big injury, and he has so much money on the books. And if they took him off, put Baker in there, he could potentially even be better and much, much cheaper. So we think that he should be the pick there.
And with the 5th pick, we have the Broncos taking Saquon Barkley. Just today, the Broncos cut their starting running back, C.J. Anderson, and now they have a huge hole left there. Saquon happens to fall to 5, where they get arguably the draft's best player.
And so on to number 6, we have the Indianapolis Colts taking Quentin Nelson, guard out of Notre Dame. This guy is like consensus going to be like a Pro Bowl, potentially all pro player. And with luck, having so many injuries, the main priority on any part of this team is just to protect him. And Quentin Nelson can be that guy that you plug in for 10, 15 years and just leave him there, trust him to do the right thing.
Right. And with the 7th pick, we have the Buccaneers taking Minkah Fitzpatrick, free safety / cornerback out of Alabama. They have a huge hole at free safety where Chris Conte is just all right, and Fitzpatrick is arguably the best player left in the draft. So this is a nice fit at 7 for the Buccaneers.
Yep. And at number 8, we had Bradley Chubb sliding a little bit. And we have him going at number 8, D-end out of NC State. And so we have the Chicago Bears taking him. And we know that Leonard Floyd is a good player, but opposite they don't have much depth right now. I think they have Aaron Lynch starting, which is not going to be a starting caliber player. And we think that eventually you can convert him to outside linebacker in the 3-4, or potentially if they eventually give up on Vic Fangio, moving back to 4-3. But we think when you have the best pass rusher on the board at number 8, you just take him. He can be a star player.
And with the 9th pick, we have the 49ers selecting Denzel Ward, cornerback out of Ohio State. Simply put, the 49ers have a hole at cornerback, and he would step in immediately and be the number 1. Some places have him going as high as number 4 at this point, so this might be a steal for the 49ers.
And with the 10th pick, we have the Oakland Raiders taking Tremaine Edmonds, linebacker out of Vatech. Essentially, they just need somebody to be in that defense. They need the best player available, and Tremaine Edmonds can be that guy. They had a terrible defense to go with their above-average offense last year, and if they can balance it out, they can return to the playoffs, and Derek Carr can lead them to something bigger than just a first-round loss.
With the 11th pick, after the trade with the Dolphins, we have the Browns taking Roquan Smith, outside linebacker out of Georgia. Roquan is my favorite player in this draft, and he fills a huge need at outside linebacker for the Browns, who could really use the talent upgrade.
Yep, and moving on to number 12, we have the New York Giants taking Marcus Davenport out of University of Texas, San Antonio. They just traded down, and right now, after trading GPP and having a hole opposite Olivier Vernon, we definitely think that Davenport can develop into something big. Right now, they still are trying to find the pieces, and potential is probably worth more than production right now with the Giants, who are trying to find something. And Marcus Davenport is potential. He's a definition of it, and he could be a good fit.
And with the 13th pick, we have the Redskins selecting Vita V, nose tackle out of Washington. Their run defense is god-awful, and that really got exposed in the playoffs. I know Redskins fans are praying that they get him, as he is by far the best nose tackle in this draft, and he could have such a huge difference on that defense year one.
And moving on to number 14, we have the Green Bay Packers selecting Josh Jackson, cornerback out of Iowa. Right now, I think they just brought back Tramon Williams for some reason, but right now they have Devon House, Quentin Rollins, not a strong group of cornerbacks, and Josh Jackson is a playmaker. He had 8 interceptions last year to lead the FBS, and definitely he can step into a starting cornerback, potentially nickel cornerback, and be something good for the Green Bay Packers who just need defense.
And with the 15th pick, we have the Cardinals, and this is a team that could definitely trade up in this draft. They need a quarterback, but in this case, they get lucky and Lamar Jackson falls to them. They signed Sam Bradford in the offseason, and he is not their long-term answer, more than likely, with all his injury problems. Here they get their future franchise quarterback, an exciting player, and maybe even the steal of the draft.
And with the 16th pick, we have the Ravens selecting Calvin Ridley, wide receiver out of Alabama. Joe Flacco's receiving corps last year was terrible. They lost their top 2 receivers in Mike Wallace and Jeremy Maclin, and while they signed Michael Crabtree, they still need a number 2 receiver to be opposite of him. Calvin Ridley is the prototype number 2 receiver. He's a possession receiver without much red zone upside, but that's perfect for the contrast in their roles. With these two at the helm of Joe Flacco's offense, he's in for a bounce-back season.
And those were our picks numbers 1 through 16 for NFL Mock Draft 2.0. Like, comment, subscribe, let us know what you guys think, and we'll have these 17 through 32 coming out as soon as possible. And right after that, we have our Josh Allen prospect breakdown. Have a nice day, guys, and see you later.